My name is Chinwendu, and I am an alcoholic with food. I would like to just get us started with the set aside prayer. God, please help me set aside everything I think I know, everything I think I know about myself, my disease, the 12 steps, and especially you, so I may have an open mind and a new experience with all these things. Please let me see the truth. To qualify, I've been a member of Overeaters Anonymous since 2006. I came in when I was 26 years old, and I was somewhere over 600 pounds. I spent the better part of my my time in Alcoholics Anonymous, or my time in Overeaters Anonymous, not in abstinence. The first 17 years, I was not really abstinent at all. I was abstinish, maybe is the best way. I had fat, serenity, all the things that all the terms that you've heard. And about 2.5 years ago, I got abstinent, and that's when I've been having a spiritual experience since then. I've overall lost about 275 pounds total in Overeaters Anonymous, and still working towards achieving a healthy body weight today. So to kind of get to where the reading hit me, the very first thing, if you answer these questions satisfactorily, you need to have no apprehension. Because, it asks those questions like, do I have any business there? Well, I'm a liar. Like, I lie, right? Like, I like the ease and comfort that comes with taking a few drinks. You know what I mean? I love a few bites. I love a few bites on the sneak tip. I like a few bites when no one's looking, when I think no one's looking. I'm the kind of person that would, I wear hoodies a lot, and I always had, if I was ever at a party, right, I had M&Ms in the hoodie, or whatever was out, I was sneaking it. So, just the simple fact that the book tells us to ask us a question really reminds me of the step one principle of honesty. Can I be trusted? If I'm not sober, if I'm not sober with my food, I have no ability to be trusted. And then it's goes right into but be sure you're on solid spiritual ground before you start, and that your motive going is thoroughly good. I have learned in these last 2.5 years of abstinence that I've heard the line from the big book, I can't tell the true from the false, but I didn't really understand the depth of it. My motives are always skewed towards creating an advantage for myself, and I never was fully I'm just now really starting to see that, you know what I mean? 2.5 years in, that there's something inside of me that's always trying to be the manipulator. And it's one of the things that I'm trying to surrender. It's one of the things that right now, where this text is hitting me, that I have to completely surrender all of my motives, and it's one of the things I'm oh, why do I want to do that? Why do I want to have a voice? A lot of times I don't have a voice because there are times where I want to have a voice because I want to be helpful. But this program has taught me that but my default is to lie. I was a 600-pound compulsive overeater. That's a lot of lies, And the thing is, I like the acronym denial. Didn't even notice I am lying, because that has been my default. My default is to lie to me first, so then lying to you doesn't really matter. I'll lie to you about food. I'll lie to you about money. I'll lie to you about time. I'll lie to you about whatever it is I could lie to you about, as long as I can take care of what I need, or what I think I need. And that's the problem, is that my brain doesn't work. When I'm intoxicated with food, my brain really doesn't work. What happened in Overeaters Anonymous 2.5 years ago is I gave up the thinking game, because I was always trying to be too smart for everyone, right? I was always trying to be too smart. I was like, I don't follow rules. And what this disease did to me is it literally brought me to my knees to the point where I could not walk in my own home. So I had to give up all of my thinking. I had to give it all up, not just some of it, right? So, and so the next space where the text hits me is still on page 102. If it's a happy occasion, try to increase the pleasure of those there. That has become like a real thing for me today, because, and it referenced at the end, like we don't fight anyone. But like when I stop fighting people, I can really think about, okay, God, why do you have me here? Why in real time do you have me here? Because before, I spent most of my time dictating to God how I wanted life to go. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And what I have found in these 24 hours is if I am about increasing the pleasure of the other people about me, that I have the best kind of experience I can have. Because I'm not concerned about myself. When I wake up today and I make my gratitude list, I can be like, I have everything that I need today, right? And I would have died for that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I had it then too, but I didn't know it, right? Because I was lying to myself. I had everything I needed to be abstinent, to surrender my food, to surrender my disease. I just wouldn't do it because it didn't look the way I wanted it to look. I was that proverbial person who's stranded and they're waiting for God to come and save them, even though someone brought a boat, someone brought a plane, someone brought a helicopter. But I wanted God to come on a yacht. Like, God, no, you gonna pick me up on a yacht. That's what I respect, and T-Pain gonna be singing, I'm on a boat, yay. I'm not gonna sing because that's crazy. I don't know how to sing, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I had an idea about how everything was gonna go. And if it didn't go my way, I was gonna shut it down. And I was gonna do it with anger, and I was gonna do it with manipulation, and I was gonna do it with sneakery, and I was gonna, and the only way I could live a life like that was to kill myself with food. Because it's so disengaging, it's so disheartening, it's so painful that if I'm going to live a life run on self-will, I sure as heck got to be in the food. Because how do you live a life like that and you're not paying it, and you're not really caring about anybody but yourself? That's what my experience was as an alcoholic with food. And then the next line that really washed over me is, let your friends know they are not to change their habits on your account. At a proper time and place, explain to your friends why alcohol disagrees with you. So here's the thing, is like, I've always been really proud of the fact that I'm in Overeaters Anonymous. So a fat person who's really fat in Overeaters Anonymous, like they got used to the times when, like, oh, I'm not having dessert this party, but the next party I'm eating half the cake, or this party I'm not eating cookies, and then the next party I'm taking, like, they don't even know where the cookies went, right? Because I didn't tell anybody I was eating cookies and I just crushed them, But the thing is it was like, but even that, like, even what I just said was focused on me. Like, and the book asked me to say, oh, don't change your habits on my account. Like, the first time I went to my sister's house and I brought my food, oh, she was mad. No. What do you mean you brought your food? I said, well, I'm doing program a little bit different. I just brought my food. Oh, she was off put. And I didn't know she was going to be mad, but I was able to handle it, right? Because for the first time I was going to take care of me. Because I was concerned about looking weird, even around my family. Because I had never done it to this level. I had never been willing to bring a salad and a burger at home to a barbecue that I had been to hundreds of times that had things. There were some things there I could eat, but I wasn't sure. And I wasn't brave enough to call and ask the questions. So I just brought my own food. You know what I mean? But I showed up and like I was just of love and service. You know what I mean? That very first time, my sister has quadruplets. She has quadruplets that are 10 years old now. And that first time about 2 years ago when I brought food to my sister's party, I realized that I was not obsessed with all the things. So it was at their birthday party because I got sober in March and their birthday party is in May, and they have 4 cakes every year. And I usually have some of all 4 cakes. So this particular year, even at their birthday party, they're not the focus, because people and the adults are focused and entrenched in themselves, and the kids were. I spent all my time with the kids. I spent all my time with my 8-year-old nieces and nephews at their 8-year-old birthday party, because I wasn't tripping about the food. I was really trying to be where can I be of maximum service? All these adults are eating the way I used to eat. So I can't really play with y'all. I can't. I'm not about it. But what can I do? Oh, I can play with these. I got on the floor. I'm on the floor with these 8-year-olds. They're climbing on me. We're playing. I'm fully engaged. I was fully living life in the present moment, which I did not realize I had not been doing for years and years and years, right? Because if I had ever did anything like that before, it was if I wanted to. And now I walk into a space and I go, God, where do you want me? I'm here, reporting for duty. What do you want me to do today? And that was not an approach that I took before I got sober with food. And I did over time, and then people started asking me questions, like, oh, so how are you doing this? You know what I mean? And then people start, and especially when you start losing weight, because, when you're 500 pounds, because when I got abstinent 2.5 years ago, I was over 500 pounds again. So you go from 500 pounds and I'm almost 300 pounds now. People start going, what are you doing? Oh, you on that shot. You on that shot, huh? You on that shot. You on that shot. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I just, and I tell them, oh, I went to a nutritionist. I'm just following the plan. But a couple people get pest, they're like, nah, that's not it. It's something else. And then I tell those people about Overeaters Anonymous. When people start to hound me, I don't shy away from it, but I also don't blurt it out there before, because I used to blurt it out there with pride, like, oh, no, you need to do what I'm doing. You need to do what I'm doing. Oh, you got diabetes. Look at you. You need to do what I'm doing. You need to get right like me. That was, and I don't live that way anymore. I just tell my experience. I stay in the I, me, and my language because it's critically important to my recovery. The next line that hit me from the text, while, and I'm going to actually just put this in the I, me, and my language. While I was drinking, I was withdrawing from life little by little. Now I am getting back into the social life of this world. Do not start to withdraw again just because your friends eat alcoholic food. Right? Like, I want to be a part. And God has shown me that I can be a part anywhere. Right? I can be a part anywhere. That my life, that I'm completely neutral with food. I could walk in today to the biggest sugar, flour, and fat festival in the world, and I'm not affected, right? Because my abstinence isn't what I don't eat. My abstinence is what I do eat. You know what I'm saying? When I'm using Google Maps, I don't start tripping about all the places it's not taking me to. That to me is what I think I hear a lot of people talk about abstinence. Oh, I don't eat that. No, I need to know what I do eat. Right? I eat my food plan. And that's what I eat, and nothing alcoholic. And the volumes are accounted for also, because not only do I have alcoholic foods, but I can eat in volume. Right? So I had lunch right before I had this meeting. I had 5 ounces of chicken. 10 ounces of chicken is not sober for me. Right? Because what's on the food plan is 5 ounces of chicken. Now, if I go to a restaurant and I tell my sponsor, hey, I'm going to a restaurant, we have a protocol there. So he says, don't get the smallest steak, don't get the biggest steak. So I might get a 8-ounce steak, because the thing is, it's surrendered because he knows what I'm doing, because we have a protocol. I don't live in the world anymore where people don't know how and what I eat. Because if I don't bring you with me, I'm going right down the dead end street. I just am. That I put my hand in yours thing, it becomes very real for me. If I don't keep my hand in yours, then I'm going to go trick off and do something stupid with food, right? I'll go, and then the thing is, once it goes with the food, it goes everywhere else. That's been my experience. Now today, by the grace of a higher power that I do not understand, I feel like I could never return to that. But that even is a trick of the disease, because I feel like, oh, I could never go back. I've heard about people being sober with food for 25, 26 years and falling back into the trap. So what do I have to do today? Stay on point. Stay on point with my food, right? Because I want a bigger and bigger social life, because I want to know more and more of you. I want to know this program better. I want to know my family members. I want to know my children. I want to know my grandchildren if that ever happens. I want to know the little girl, behind T there. I want to know all of that, right? And, I just highlighted in here the words maximum helpfulness, just because I like the phrase at the bottom of towards the bottom of 102. And then keep on the firing line of life with these motives, and God will keep you unharmed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for me, how I interpret that line is that I don't play defense, right? I don't play defense. I don't defend myself today, right? If I feel a need to defend my actions, then that's God calling me to terms with Him, right? I'm not playing defense. If I did something that I feel like when I start to get the stutters, like when I can't get the words out, I know when I have an urge to play defense that I am not letting God keep me unharmed. Because if someone has something for me and it feels critical and it feels damning, it's for me to accept. If something feels harsh and critical and kind of bruises, people bump up against your bruises, right? And they don't know they're bumping up against your bruises, but the bruise is mine. It's not theirs. And I've got to ask God to heal those bruises. I absolutely have to have God heal those bruises. So when those bruises occur, when those bumps happen, I'm saying, hey, God, I was harmed. I need your help here. I have to deepen my spiritual life, period, without question. Top of 103. We are careful never to show intolerance, hatred of drinking as an institution. Experience shows that such an attitude is not helpful to anyone. Oh my gosh, how I used to rail against the fellow compulsive overeater in my little periods of abstinence before. It's not something that I feel like I've done in this period of sobriety, because I just wanted because I remember when I first got into Overeaters Anonymous. When I first got into Overeaters Anonymous, I lost 150 plus pounds in the first 18 months. I really couldn't figure out why anybody in these rooms was fat. I was like, man, this is easy. I got this. I'm winning. But the idea about the erosion of self was completely lost on me. I mean, God had to keep me in the rooms eating for 17 and a half years for that erosion to get to a point where I was willing to do the work. And like the one thing I will never do today is talk down or be intolerant of someone who is still stuck suffering in these rooms, because I was suffering in a way for so many years that I knew that the answer was here, but I felt like I couldn't find the key to get out of the front, to get in the door. I felt like I was outside on the front porch trying to get into the house of Overeaters Anonymous, but nobody would let me in. And the thing is what I had to do is, like, I heard this from a Sandy Beach. It's like I had to show up as nobody. I had to show up spiritually naked. And I didn't want to do that because I wanted in. I wanted me with my bravado, with my energy, with my manipulation. And that's not how God wanted me. God wanted me in completely raw. And that's what those 17 years today, I believe every bite of those 17 years, I needed it. I needed to get raw. I needed God to strip me all the way down. Show me how bad you want it, son. And so for the person that's still sick and suffering, I'm never giving up on them. I'm never, ever, ever giving up on them. And I'm never talking down to them. I'm never saying, oh my God, they're so fat. How can they not get it? Oh my God, that lady's so bulimic. Why can't she stop puking? I'm never, ever going to say that. I'm not going to do it because it's tantamount to me. Like, I know that I'm sick in the same way and was sick for a long time. I'm still sick. I just got the medicine today. You know, I got the spiritual Ozempic, and I'm not going to knock anybody who's taking the physical Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? And these couple paragraphs here, a spirit of intolerance might repel alcoholics whose lives could have been saved had it not been for such stupidity. I've definitely not been respectful of other compulsive eaters in the rooms because of my own pride and ego. We would not even do the cause temperate drinking any good, for not one drinker in 1,000 likes to be told anything about alcohol by one who hates it. I highlighted that because I've done that in the past, and I just think it's poison. And lastly, I just want to finish up with this. After all, our problems were of our own making. Bottles were only a symbol. And in my case, rappers, particularly Little Debbie rappers, were only a symbol. Besides, we have stopped fighting anybody or anything. We have to. And that last line, I just need to change it to I, me, in my language. I have to stop fighting. I have to stop fighting for the rest of my life, one day at a time. I get to stop fighting. I love you. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak today.